break. Let's yeah. The next presentation will be by Professor Garcia. Elias. He will talk about the first R, which will be the scapholunate ligament repair, open and arthroscopic.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I will not be talking about much about arthroscopy because I think that previous to that discussion, we should to have a little bit more discussion on something like that. So, it's a case, a clinical case. After spraining his wrist, this carpenter experienced progressive discomfort, pain, and weakness. He did not recall a previous tumor. But they took x-rays and they saw that the scapholunate ligament was ruptured, that they said, because the angle was wrong and there was that big gap over there. No further studies were requested by then because it was so obvious, they say, it was so obvious that we had in front of scapholunate instability. And here's my complaint. Why should we use the term instability if it was not unstable? And everybody in this room would say, well, this isn't stable because I've seen it, as if instability was something that can be seen. It was hardly reducible in this case. It was a big degenerative osteoarthritis in the proximal pole of the scaphoid, and that was not detected by then. So why should we talk about instability if it was not unstable? This is another case. In another case, you see that gap. Everybody would jump and say, well, this is scapholunate dissociation. This is unstable. It is not. This is a typical particular case where you see that gap, but also you see that osteoarthritis in the proximal pole of a scaphoid. This is not unstable. This is what you want, but this is not instability. Because instability is something like that. Either you have a stiffness or you have instability. If you have something that is stiff, that means that it will become sooner or later fixed, and there will be no instability. So we should always keep in mind that sentence. A joint may be unstable or stiff, but not both. And this was clear enough in the original paper by Ron Linscheid and Jim Dobbins. They were saying that something like that is unstable, and it can well be misaligned as well, but it not necessarily the two of them are together. Look at that. Even now, this is a recent paper. They say carpal ligament instability is defined as any malalignment of the carpus. No, that's true. Not all the malalignments mean that they are unstable. And this is something that I think we need to understand. Otherwise, we can get that problem. This is the original paper that we wrote in 1999 to define exactly what instability means. Instability is when it's the wrist is unstable, when it's not able to resist physiologic loads without yielding. That's a definition. Based on that, I understand that you want to solve instability, that's fine, but don't solve malalignment as if it were unstable. This is stable again, but it's malaligned. Really. That's exactly it. That's my concept. If we have something like that, needs to be treated in a different way. So, as you can see, there are many instability problems in the wrist. Some of them can be congenital. Some of them can be congenital, can be trauma related, can be disease related instabilities. Doesn't mean that all of those need to be treated equal. So let's stop speaking about instability if there is not unstable. So let's put it this way. I think that this is an important issue that needs to be rethought. We have that fall. We have a stage 1 will be the case in which we have that. Yeah, we have initially we have that fall. There's a rupture of the volar ligament, scapholunate ligament. That rupture transmits from volar to dorsal. You have that proximal scapholunate membrane dissociation, and then we have a dorsal scapholunate ligament rupture. All these need to be understood that can happen right away, or can take several weeks or months to occur. After that, we have stage 2 would be the case where with time the secondary carpal stabilizers will elongate and the bridge will start giving way. The giving way, it's not automatic. I mean, it may happen with time. It'll take some time for the carpals to collapse, but as you can see, there's normal scapholunate separation. After that, we have a stage 3. Stage 3 in which there is increased scapholunate separation, this complete rupture, and now we can see how that progresses. It progresses, then the carpal stabilizers will elongate, and the bridge will start giving way. It'll take some time for the carpals to collapse as usual. And all this time, if we don't think about that, if we don't place the right stabilizing gears to stop that, it will continue to grow. And if it continues, then you have a rotary scaphoid subluxation. Scaphoid subluxation means that we have the scaphoid that it's going backwards. And now we have not only the original, but the secondary stabilizers have failed. The secondary stabilizers have failed. It's a moment of maximal instability. Up to this point, it was not maximal instability. It's a problem when we have that now, and now there's a normal joint contact. You have the carpal that has collapsed, and that's carpal collapse. And then, of course, all the capsule contracts. The repair of the scapholunate ligament no longer is possible. And here's when we collapse with the ideas of had been said before. Why? Because all the empty spaces are filled with fibrosis. All interarticular fibrosis has decreased motion, and therefore it's no longer unstable. No longer stable, and then stage 7, it's in final stages where the cartilage has gone, and now we have arthrosis. So, what we were trying to say is that nothing happens right away. In the same moment that you have the rupture, you have arthrosis. No, it will take some time to produce that evolution. And the moment that there is maximal instability is exactly right there. Between the the secondary stabilizers are still okay, and the problem when they rupture. Secondary stabilizers, STT ligaments, scaphocapital ligaments. So there's a window of opportunity for the wrist to be brought back to normal that it's not previously discussed. What's the moment? I like that very much. It's during the storm that the sailing boat becomes unstable. Is that place where we think, no, this guy will do all right. No, he will not do all right because we need to prevent his carpals from collapsing. After the storm, it's too late. It's too late. There is no problem, but you cannot repair a scapholunate ligament that it's gone. And that's why now we're going to be quick because that has been discussed with several times and also by Ricardo. The 6 questions that we put forward to know whether or not this case needs to be treated in one way or another. One is the partial ligament rupture, that the arthroscopy was classification scheme is good. Is the dorsal scapholunate ligament is torn? Can it be repaired with good healing potential? That's another thing that to me is important, with good healing potential. And then we have the 4 types that were described by John Anderson. And then, if it cannot be repaired, but the secondary stabilizers again still are able to maintain normal carpal alignment, we're just about the problem that it's maximal instability. If you have that situation, it's completely different. The normal scaphoid alignment that you have to the left than the line that you have to the right. If there is secondary stabilizer, secondary rupture, there's nothing you can do. And you should prevent that by taking your own route. The 4th, is the lunate maintain normal relationship to the radius? That's another important concept. I mean, the lunate may have failed also its relationship and present something that has been translocated. If it's translocated, we have that problem too. If the carpus has collapsed, is the subluxation easily reducible? It's another problem. If it's easily reducible, it's one thing. But if there are fibrosis, what I'm saying, fibrosis, there are calcification, this cannot be reduced easily. If it's not reducible easily, it's another problem. And finally, we have the condition of the cartilage that it's frog. You have arthrosis for that. So again, we have seen that many times, and therefore I will not spend time on this, but remember, going back to the question that we put to Ricardo, what to do in the dynamic scapholunate? Remember what we said about the anti-pronation ligaments. If you promote the anti-supination ligaments, you are reducing that, and you may treat cases. Almost as in this Holmes and paper, the paper presented recently. If you use that, you can see that you can provoke that reduction that is so much important. And then you have a complete, then you have the capsulolysis. We have seen that, so maybe we should go on that. We have tears. Every one of those stages has its own treatment. Here I'm introducing the fact that not of using this kind of carpi radialis longus as a substitute of all the ligament. And then we have carpal collapse. And then you have the spiroarthrodesis if you consider still that there are good cartilage. And finally, carpal collapse, non-reducible. Then you may start doing radioscapholunate fusion. The distal scaphoid needs to be resected. And that's it, my friend. I think that basically it's covering, once again, all what Ricardo has shown us today. And remember that this is a teamwork. It's a teamwork. We all need to be there. And we all need to understand that this is not something that can be solutioned easily. Wow, still. Thank you very much, my friends. Now that I'm on it, remember